Welcome to Easy 3 Sport Production. I'm your host Suttles, and today, player profile time again, talking about Devonta Smith. Can he possibly drop down to 11? Let's see. Let's get it. Devonta Smith, the flavor of the month. Devonta Smith, 6'1", 175-pound wide receiver out of Alabama. He's a senior, so usually we do not see these kinds of guys go 4 years in these top programs like Alabama, Clemson. Guys usually come out as soon as they are available. But Devonta Smith, a 4-year guy at Alabama, but his explosive year was his senior year, and man, was it a good one. He ended up with 117 receptions, 1,856 yards, and 23 touchdowns, en route to the Heisman Trophy as a wide receiver that hasn't been done since Desmond Howard in 1991. Oh, and en route to a national champion. In the national championship game, he had over 200 plus yards with 3 touchdowns, and also in the playoff game he had for over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns, I believe. This man is amazing, and he's just so silky smooth with his whole game. It's just his movements. You just look at him and you know that this guy is a number 1 receiver. Like, hands down, that guy is a number 1 receiver. And for us to be at 11, I do not believe that we are going to get him, because I don't believe that he's going to slip that far. I believe that he will be a top 5 and or a top 7, definitely, draft pick, but he's not going to drop to 11 unless the Giants are going to trade up, or unless something crazy happens, like I don't know, Urban Meyer just not picking Trevor Lawrence, picking Justin Fields. But those are some other videos. But now we're going to talk about Devonta Smith and what's his strengths and what really makes him that elite wide receiver. First things first, his route running. He is an exquisite route runner. Like, he runs them crisp to the point that he makes the defenders look stupid off of the routes that he is running. He has great footwork. Everything just comes together. When he gets to the top of his route, he breaks it off, and oh man, the defender's going one way, he's catching the ball, he's gone. Another one is getting off of the ball. He is only 6'1", 175, so he does not have a big frame, but he is able to get off a lot of the presses that that the corners were trying to put on him. He has good footwork. He got good hand placement. Getting off the ball is very, very important in the NFL, because when they find out that you aren't good enough to get a free release, they're going to press you all game. They're going to press you all game, and they're going to make sure that you are not going to get to where you need to be in a timely fashion. His explosiveness, and he's just elusive. Alabama used him in multiple ways. They used him as the outside receiver. They used him as a slot. They used him as a motion. When he's catching bubble screens, he could take it to the house. He doesn't look that fast, but he reminds me of how Randy Moss looked. Now, I'm not saying that they are the same player, because Randy Moss was 6'4", and he was like extremely talented, crazy. But the way that they moved when they ran, Randy never looked like he was fast until he's running down the sideline and the defenders are taking bad angles, which he makes him look like he take bad angles, and then he's just ghost on him. And it's the same thing with Devonta Smith. Like, he catches this bubble screen, he goes to the sideline, you think that he's about to get caught, and he just turns on the burners, and all these guys are just behind him, and you're like, wait a minute, how did that happen? These guys need to learn how to take some good angles, or this guy is just that good. He is a number 1 receiver in the NFL, hands down. But The way that this process is going, when we get to the combine, we're going to learn a lot more about him. But he's just a flavor of the month because this is the most recent that everybody's been seeing and hearing about him. I mean, he put on a spectacular game for the playoff game, and then he wins the Heisman, and then he puts on a spectacular game for the national championship. So, I mean, everybody's saying Devonta Smith, Devonta Smith, Devonta Smith. Now, like I said, I don't believe that he's going to be there, but if he is, we better grab him because that is a bargain deal. Point blank, period. Another good strength of his, reliable hands. He has good, reliable hands. When you throw him the ball, he is going to catch it. It's a 99.9% that he is going to come down with that ball no matter where you put it. If you put it in his range, he's going to come down with it. Even on the sideline, with good foot and body control, he is able to pull these balls down. Very reliable hands. Now, on the opposite end, his weaknesses, he really don't have too many weaknesses because he is a pure wide receiver, but it's one thing that you really can't teach, and that is his small frame. He can bulk up when he gets to the league, but he will still have that same kind of frame. He'll still have that same kind of body type unless he's going to put on 20, 30 extra pounds. But as we've seen with Amari Cooper, which was another Alabama wide receiver, he didn't have a skinny frame when he came out, but when he put on those extra 15 pounds, you seen his game really change, and he wasn't as elusive and he wasn't as crisp in those cuts that he used to do when he was 15 pounds lighter. So just remember, that is a weakness of his skinny frame, but that also helps him be as elusive as he is. Not just because, he's 175. Guys made it in the league being 175. That's not an issue. Another weak point, just because of his weight and because of his skinny frame, is the blocking, of course. But wide receivers, they don't get really paid to block. They get paid to catch the ball. They get paid to run routes. Blocking is the last thing on their mind. So a lot of these wide receivers that we're going to go through, their weaknesses are going to be blocking because that's not on their mind. They're looking to catch the ball. But totally understand. But those are really the only weak points. It's just his size, small frame, and just blocking. This man is an elite receiver. He's going to be a stud in the NFL. I will not be surprised if he goes top 5, but I know guarantee he's going top 7. Point blank, period. And the player comparison that I see in this guy is Marvin Harrison. If you're too young, look up what Marvin Harrison did. He was a monster, and he was only 6 foot. About 6 foot, I believe he was like 185, 190. So he had a little bit more weight than Devonta. I mean, I don't see a problem with Devonta putting on like 10 pounds, 8 to 10 pounds, but Marvin Harrison was the same exact player. Like, it's like looking at splitting images of how good they ran their routes, of how reliable hands they had, the body control, everything just points to Marvin Harrison as their skinny frame, their small frame. And Marvin Harrison, he was just all-time great. But he never said a word, so you really didn't know what he was thinking, but he was just all-time great. And you just always seen Manning, Harrison, Manning, Harrison, Manning, Harrison. You're looking like, how is this guy getting open? He's not the fastest, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, but he's always open. And that's what he is. And that's what Devonta Smith reminds me of. Marvin Harrison 2.0. And this has been a Subtle's Take for Easy 3 Sport Production. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share the video. Sharing is caring. Help the channel grow. Until next time, I'm out.